What's up, YouTube? Welcome back. It has been a while. Another long work trip and waiting on stuff, but if you saw the short videos, you know the wing kit has been delivered, and now it's time to inventory it, which is going to be this entire video. This took place over 2 different afternoons. I think all told, it was about 6 hours of inventory. And there you can see the 2 crates that you get. Tiff has the inventory out right there, and she's getting ready to help me with that because she's really good with inventory. I've got the plans and the directions that are rolled up in there, and I've taken those off to the side and laid them out so that they can start flattening out. Anyhow, now it's time to get into the tedious parts of going through all of the bags and sorting stuff out. So, my little rant real quick about how Vans packages these kits. First off, their Tetra skills are immaculate. The amount of stuff they can pack into those crates is insane. But they sort everything by, they call them kits or bags. All the different hardwares, pieces, things like that get bundled up together. And they sort of bundle them in a way that makes sense. Like they might call it an aileron kit or something along those lines. And sometimes all the parts in there are exactly for that one assembly. But other times they throw other stuff in there as well. And when it's time to actually build, the plans and directions never call for go get aileron bag 832 or something like that. Now what they do is they tell you you need the fuel tank nut plates, which are K1000-8s or whatever they are. Or you need this many AN 470 80 4-3 rivets. So they never reference you to another bag or anything again. So it makes no sense to keep any of that stuff in any of the bags they bring it. Same thing for inventorying it. And then some of these bags will have duplicate things. Like some will have the same kind of rivets as another bag. But they never call for those bags. So we found the easiest thing to do is just break everything apart and then sort it out to its basic components. So all those red bins there are marked. There's one just for, 470 4-6 rivets or 426 3-3.5 rivets. That way when the plans call for a specific rivet, nut plate, bolt, nut, washer, whatever, it's right there in the bin and I can just grab the exact one I need. I don't need to worry about what bag it might have been in or where to find it. Maybe there's a reason they bag all the stuff together the way they do. I don't know. It's going to come into play later on with washers especially. There's one bag in here, and they've done this before, where it'll be the same size washer, diameter, hole diameter, all of that, but one is thick and one is thin. And they'll mix them both together, and you're supposed to have a certain number of each. And they are different, and you want to make sure you're grabbing the right one for the right place. So the fun part is you got to go through a bag of 100 washers or whatever it is and sort out the thick from thin ones, which you can see me doing right now with the calipers. I'm just verifying that we've got the thick and thin ones sorted. Calipers come in handy. They are a very, very helpful tool for sorting through those washers. You can also see I've got that keyboard in front of me. I've got the iPad hooked up to the TV, and every now and then we're just typing in part numbers on Van's store and pulling it up, just making sure that we are indeed looking at the right part we're supposed to be looking at. So that was helpful. Another tool you'll see us using a lot, and I think I've linked it below. If I haven't, I'll make sure I do, is that little tiny printer that we link to either one of our phones, and it's printing the labels that we're putting on the bags and we're putting on the bins. I think that printer was, I don't even want to lie to you, I think it was like $20. It wasn't much. It was fairly cheap off of Amazon, and a roll of labels pretty much lasted this entire job. So really, really handy printer for doing just these little parts. Anyhow, I hope this video doesn't bore you too much. It's probably a good one to just play in the background if you're building or doing other stuff yourself. It's going to be a lot of the same. You can see a little entertainment now and then with me chasing the donkeys or goats out. That goat just won't be deterred. I am happy to say, going through the entire kit, inventorying everything, as far as missing parts go, we're only missing one washer. So that's a pretty good thing. There is one other big mistake, or at least I think it is. I'm still waiting to hear back from Vans to find out for sure, but in the background you can see in the long crate an aluminum push tube. That tube is, according to the inventory, supposed to be 0.035 thickness, and it's supposed to be 1 1/8 inch in diameter. And I believe that's the main aileron push-pull tube. The tube they sent me is 0.35, but it's 1.5 inch in diameter. So I'm fairly certain I've got the wrong push-pull tube. I am, like I said, waiting to hear back, and I'm really not sure how that's going to get sorted, because even if they want to send me another one, it's a 12-foot long, extremely lightweight, fragile tube. So I really don't see any way to ship one to me outside of putting it in a wooden crate so it doesn't get damaged. Yeah. Thankfully, I don't need it right away, so we got time to figure it out. I do have a metal supermarket nearby me. I'm willing to bet I can probably get that tube ordered from them if I have to, if Vans will just give me credit for it. But we'll have to wait and see what they decide they want to do. So now it's just going to be another several minutes of inventory. All said, I think it took us 6 hours. I want to say it was about 2 hours the first night, and then when we get to the second day here in just a little bit, it's another 4 hours. All right, welcome to day 2 of the inventory. So that box you can see all the way on the far end of the workbench there is the main box of hardware that comes in the wing kit. And that box alone took a good 3 hours or so, maybe even 4, to go through. There's a lot of tiny hardware in there that had to be sorted out, counted, organized. It was a lot of stuff in one box. Surprisingly, there's really not a whole lot in the kit. It's a lot of big stuff, but not really a whole lot more than, honestly, what came in the empennage kit. It's just a lot more big parts. You can see me down there sorting those thick and thin washers again. That's another set of them. These were a little bit easier, just to tell which ones were thick and thin. There were actually, I think, 3 types of washers. There were some bigger diameter ones in that same bag too, so yeah, it makes things challenging. You can see the donkey in the background trying to make a guest appearance. So that bag that she just dumped out there that I'm now sorting through is all of the screws and nut plates to attach the fuel tanks. At least I'm pretty sure that's what those are for. And there was a lot. Had to go through them, sort them out, and then count each one. I think it was 110 total of each one. Happy to say they were all present and accounted for. So now you can just sit here at high speed and watch me count. Beer helps. Well, if you've made it this far, congratulations. It's not as bad in these roughly 14 minutes of video as it was over the last several hours. Inventory is not my favorite thing. I am glad it's over with. Hopefully very soon, before I go on this next trip at least, I'll get at least one build video in. I think the very first thing we're going to start with is attaching the nut plates to the spar for the fuel tank attach. So it's going to be a whole lot of spar work. Looking forward to all of the machine countersinking that's going to have to be done on there. So yeah, you can see it's going through the last of the parts now, and I'm going to have to go through organization again and get them all laid out exactly how I wanted. And you're going to see the spars make a guest appearance here in a second as I pull them off the shelf. Ever so briefly, but you'll see more of them in the next video because they're going to be laying there on that bench getting lots and lots and lots of machine countersinks done to them. That part's scary. They're big, they're expensive. Can't afford to screw them up, so hopefully it goes well. If you made it this far, congratulations. Now you get an idea of what it's like to have to do these inventories. Anyhow, stick around, subscribe. I'll see you on the next one.